Did somebody say that live?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
good. I had that come invite me tonight. Okay. Are y'all ready?
Absolutely.
I'm Trooper Bain. I'm the Public Information Officer for Troop Bell. This is Sergeant Barr. She is the station commander here at the Jonestown Barracks. So I'm going to read to you what happened today. Today around 3 p.m., PSP Jonestown received a call regarding a suspicious male at 2395 Quarry Road, Swatara Township, Lebanon County. The male approached a child getting off of a school bus and offered him a cell phone. The male had put the cell phone in the child's mailbox. When the child got off the bus, the male was standing at the mailbox and offered him the cell phone. The child declined, walked to his house with the male following him. The male did try to get in the house, but the mother stopped him. So we had received that call. He was acting suspiciously and began walking along Lancaster Street after the child's mother came outside. A trooper from Jonestown began checking the area and drove around the parking lot of Jonestown Elementary. PSP Jonestown received a call at 3:18 p.m. for a male with the same description as the guy at the mailbox, and that person had entered Jonestown Elementary School with a gun. The male followed the parent through the front door. The male went into the office. When asked if he was there to pick up a student, because it was dismissal time, he told the secretary, "I'm here for myself." He was told to leave but began running through the school, being chased by the secretary. So a parent was in there at the time, and he told the employee, "You don't want to do this." No, as she was chasing him, he said to her, "You don't want to do this." Another parent became involved, chased him. He ran out the side door. Before he ran out the side door, he lifted his shirt, exposing his waistband. He then ran out of school. So troopers are flooding the area. They came from here and they were flooded the area. They were informed by a crossing guard that the male ran out of the school as they arrived on scene. Another passerby informed the trooper that the male ran through an alley. The trooper located the male and observed him walking backwards away from him with his hands tucked into his waistband. The male refused commands to show his hands. The trooper drew his weapon, and then the man began to flee on foot. A foot pursuit ensued for approximately a half a mile through the Jonestown Park. During the chase, the male turned and pointed a silver pistol at the trooper and told him, "Don't effing chase me." The male began to flee towards the Jonestown Borough Maintenance Building. A Jonestown Borough employee had just backed a small dump truck into the garage. The male went into the garage and got into the unattended truck, and he drove it out of the garage. As he drove it out of the garage, he ran over one of the employees, a Jonestown Borough employee. The male was observed by the trooper driving north on Mill Street. A vehicle pursuit then began. Spike strips were successfully deployed at Grebel Road and Swatara Road. A successful pit maneuver was done in the area of 78 Grebel Road. The male was taken into custody at that time. A gun was located a short distance away in the roadway. The male was also in possession of an empty holster. The injured Jonestown Borough employee was taken to the Hershey Medical Center. The male, who I cannot name yet because he hasn't been officially charged yet, is going to be charged with aggravated assault, possession of a weapon on school property, attempted burglary, and fleeing and looting to start with, depending on what happens or the condition of the injured Jonestown Borough employee.
How seriously are they injured?
That I don't know.
Is it concerning how easily he was able to get into the school?
Yes. I mean, it's the old thing where I think as parents, when we go to a school, we have to make sure if they open the door for me and you're 10 foot behind me, I'm shutting the door. And you're going to have to buzz yourself in, bang on the door. That's how you have to get in. But it is concerning, but that's an issue more that the school district's going to have to address.
About how long was he in the school for, and did he have any contact with any students at any time?
Not to my knowledge he had any contact. He ran down the hall, the secretary chased, a father chased, and he ran out the side door.
30 seconds, 40 seconds?
Couldn't have been, I don't know. I I'd be guessing.
When we were talking to the suspect, he was saying he's from Mars and he's 70,000 years old. Is there a mental health concern here that's being looked at?
Well, I don't know, he's at the hospital right now getting evaluated before he can go to the prison. So that may come out, he may be under the influence of something. I was told that he talked to the secretary and he just started talking in some other, I don't know what kind of language he was speaking, but it wasn't English.
Could you tell us what happened inside the school? You know, what were students told to do, what did teachers have to do?
I don't know what happened. You would have to talk to the school district. I would assume they called for a lockdown, and I know it was just when kids were getting ready to all leave. So it becomes a big issue then, and they're all coming out in the hall while this guy's running down the hall.
A man shows up at a school with a gun. How fortunate is it that, you know, no students were shot or even hurt?
Wow, we were really, really lucky that this ended the way it did and not the way it could have ended. So we are very, very fortunate to this thing to end on a good note, if you will, if you can, because this could have been really, really bad.
No shots fired by...
No shots fired, nobody's hurt. Our troopers were on it. We're not far from there. We were on it, and the place was flooded with troopers all over the borough down there.
When we were talking to the back of the cruiser out front here, he told us that the gun was fake. Was it a fake gun?
It doesn't look fake to me.
Was it loaded?
I'm not going to say that right now.
Do we know this man's relationship with that student? What in the cell phone?
It's just way too early. I don't know. More may come out later after tonight about this person and what led to this, but for right now, that's all that we know.
Is he a resident?
Yeah.
I do not. I'm not sure where he is, but I believe yes.
Have you guys had contact with him before for any other,
We can't discuss any prior contacts. with
any
him.
age? How old is he?
I'd say he's probably, I saw him 30s-ish. I'm guessing at that though.
When
I
you say
assume-
he's a resident, is he a resident of Lebanon County or Jonestown or what?
It appears so. He has family in the area.
Of Jonestown or of the county?
The county.
Of the county. As far as the mud and the scrapes on his head when we saw him outside, I assume that's from the chase through the woods.
I'm not sure how he traversed through the woods and what happened. Obviously, when we get to this person, you know, we order them, you know, somebody has a gun, so we order them, get down on the ground, arms out to your side, the whole 9 yards. And we don't care where you're at when we tell you to do that. If you're in the mud, you're going to get mud.
What would you say to parents who, some of them are here tonight, that tomorrow, kids going back to school, they're terrified to send their kids back? I know you're not the district, but what's your take on that?
I can't speak on behalf of the district. I mean, we're here and we do what we have to do. That question, I think, is better addressed with the school district on what they're going to do moving forward from this incident.
So when we saw the final accident scene, it looked like the dump truck was sandwiched between the two trooper cars. Was that the orchestrated
It was a
stop?
pit maneuver, makes it a little difficult to pit out a vehicle that's bigger than you are. So the pit is to try to take out the vehicle to stop them from driving anywhere. So that's what we attempted to do, and we're successful with that big truck.
And the troopers are okay despite being in the
Nobody's
crash?
injured, cars are injured, but we can get new ones.
Any other updates expected tonight as far as his name or anything else in this case?
I'm hoping that at some point when he gets released from the hospital, we'll be able to update it with his name, because we cannot give you his name because he's not been officially charged.
So he won't be charged until after he's released?
Correct.
That could happen tonight?
I would think so. I don't know. He didn't look like he was injured to me when I saw him back here, but I'm not a doctor either.
Going through the sequence of events, have you ever experienced anything like this as a trooper? How would you categorize today?
I mean, I think it was high stress, high stakes, and, you know, our folks were there, man, and we do what we're trained to do, right? So nobody ever wants to have to do this, but this is what we go to the academy for, to be trained to be able to handle a situation like this and bring it to a successful resolution where nobody gets hurt. Bad guy, the cops, innocent people, students, parents, nobody got injured, and that's a bonus for us.
Trooper Barr, were you part of the chase?
I was.
Can you just tell us your experience?
I wasn't at the forefront, so once I got close enough, it had already transpired.
How fast were was the dump truck going? I mean, that's a big vehicle, it seems to me. Was it going
The
fast?
speeds weren't excessive at that point.
Do you have any knowledge of Jonestown Elementary? For example, Trooper Bain talked about the Sally Port, that you should close the door. Do they have a secure entrance at that school?
That I couldn't tell you for sure.
Have you ever had any other incidents at that school, gun-related incidents or anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
Did we miss anything?
Any gun threats ever made at the district within the past year, either schools?
I couldn't tell you that.
No. Puts us at ease.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yep. And I'll send this to, unless you all want a copy now, I can give you a copy now.
I'll take a copy. That would be great.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go make some copies for you then.
So will you, when you're able to release his name, are you gonna email us to update, or how are you gonna?
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave this here with the investigator.
Okay.
Tom got this laptop.
And then hopefully when that happens, they'll just update,
Okay.
point to the bottom of this,
Okay.
on the person's name.
Great.
And email it out.
Tweet it out, Facebook it out.
Well, probably can't. I'd like to say
We're a
it's,
little antiquated in how we use it.
so it'll probably be faxed, it may be scanned or two.
Tweeting out stuff and then you do some.
Yeah, I do sometimes, but if they don't tell me, to me, this is easier for somebody, it won't be me, because I'm going home after this, to update this stuff and just send it back out.
Okay.
Okay,
For me to do it, I can't do it at home. I can tweet at home, but I
Okay.
can't send this from home.
So what was the answer? So we will get copies or email?
Yeah, we're
Oh,
gonna,
perfect.
well, you can have copies of this.
Yeah, that's perfect.
How many needs a copy? We'll
I'll take
just make
at least 4, 5?
Seven. 11, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you just said, for later tonight, would it be coming from you or just someone else here? as far as-
It'll probably be coming from their, means how they always send it.
Okay,
Because there again, I don't have any way to send it from my house.
got it.
Okay, nice to meet you, Grace. Dean, yeah. I'm just good.
Give me your first name again, I don't know.